With this, from UGC, let's move our focus to Dr. Shashank Shah, Director, Senior Specialist, Higher Education, NITI Aayog. A huge round of applause for him. Over to you, Dr. Shashank Shah.
A very good morning to all of you. My heartfelt greetings on the auspicious occasion of Akshaya Tritiya, a very holy festival in India. And as the significance of Akshaya Tritiya, so is the role of knowledge in one's life, which leads to unending prosperity and well-being of all. It is vital to see, hence in this context, that the entire education system is a means to empower young minds with knowledge and wisdom that leads to fulfilling lives. It's important to understand, hence, how education system can play a role in the national and international context. Last year, India became the largest, the country with the largest population in the world. We overtook China. And it's important to understand in this context that nearly 50% of our population is below the age of 25 years. That is, 70 crore Indians are below the age of 25 years. That is nearly the entire population of Europe. Roughly 15 crores among these are in the age group of 18 to 23, which is what we define as the population for higher education. And the remaining 55 crores will be entering the higher education ecosystem in the next 10 to 15 years. Estimates suggest that from now through the next quarter century, over 68% of Indians will be in the working age population, making it the largest working age population in the world, larger than Africa, Latin America, and China. If one were to analyze this very objectively, almost all of the population that will be entering the workforce in 2047, when we complete 100 years of our independence, are already born or are going to be born in the next 1 or 2 years. And hence, to equip this population that is going to lead the Viksit Bharat that we envision, the education system as a whole will have to play a very important role, and massive efforts need to be in place in order to ensure that we have a skilled and future-ready population in 2047. My previous speaker provided a very interesting insight towards higher education, how we have grown to become the second largest higher education system in the world with over 4.2 crore students, 1,200 universities, and nearly 45,000 colleges. This is a many X growth from 1950, when we had just 20 universities and 2 lakh students. It's important to note that in the next 12 to 15 years, we'll be doubling this, with nearly 8 crore students in the higher education system, which is equivalent to the population of the entire country of Germany. And we'll become the largest higher education system in the world. Along with the access, which we are doing so well in, with gender parity at 1.01, and with almost 4x increase in women in STEM education, we are also doing very well on the research side. We have had Indian Institute of Science last year as the university with the highest citations per faculty in the world, ahead of Ivy League institutions and the Oxbridge ecosystem. And just this year, last month, nearly 69 universities from across India landed up in the QS rankings, World University Rankings in 2024, which is almost a 20% rise from the previous year, and we became the second most represented country on the QS World Rankings in all of Asia. So it is very appropriate that the national education policy has been focusing on the pillars of access, quality, and future readiness, because all of these need to be going hand in hand. With an economy that is expected to increase 10x from 3.5 trillion to 30 trillion in the next 25 years, our R&D expenditure is also estimated to increase from 0.7% of GDP to 3.5% of GDP. 3.5% of 30 trillion is what the R&D is going to be in 2047 and beyond. That gives us an understanding of what kind of efforts we would need to make as the higher education system to be ready to absorb, lead, and achieve the kind of research goals that we have as a higher education system. I was requested to speak on digitalization. So the second part of my presentation would be on digitalization in higher education. I think the emergence and rapid adoption of digital education in India can be attributed to the fast-paced digitalization of India as a whole, the expansion of ICT infrastructure, and the accessibility of gadgets and data over the last dozen years. Between 2010 and 2024, the number of internet users has increased 10x from 9 crores to 93 crores. And our availability of cheap mobile data with 1 GB costing just about 14 rupees is a 90% reduction from 2013. Number of mobile phone users in India today is 120 crores, which is the second largest in the world. And number of smartphone users is 90 crores. And this is almost a 30x increase from nearly a dozen years back. And hence, all of this has played a very important role in providing access to education on the digital platforms. Expansion of the National Broadband Mission, Digital India, and BharatNet have played a very important role to make digital education easier for students in the remote areas. Programs like Swayam, Diksha, and ePathshala, and the National Digital University, which is on the anvil, will enable institutions and individuals to embrace digital education in a substantial measure. However, I would like to highlight and draw your attention to 3 critical success factors for digitalization. The focus now is on the supply side of digital education, because the role of digital education from the demand side has been substantially established. So how is it that we can embrace digital education in a holistic way? The use of technology, in my opinion, should not compromise the quality of education, but rather enhance it. How can this be done? There are 3 distinct ways. We need to integrate practical work in the process of delivering digital education through internships and apprenticeships, which should be a part of the curriculum design. This will help students develop critical skills such as group dynamics, team building, and other interpersonal skills. Second, we need to create multilingual content. This is because, according to the last census, nearly 45% of the Indian population is not conversant with English and Hindi. And hence it's important that through digital education, content creation in regional languages is vital. Lastly, along with the curriculum, we need to ensure that there is a vital focus on holistic education. The National Education Policy draws our attention to the development of individual personalities of students in 4 vital areas: sustainable development and environmental responsibility at the planet level, espousing human values so that they become responsible citizens at the national level, indulging in community service so that they become socially responsible individuals, and lastly, giving them multicultural competence so that they become holistic individuals at the personal level. These are vital aspects of the process of delivering education and need to be integrated in the education we are looking at for the next 25 years. In conclusion, I would like to mention that going forward with the success we have seen of large language models through platforms like ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, and several others that are coming up, AI will provide individualized learning experiences in the future. And the potential of AI to revolutionize the way we learn, the way we teach, is going to be phenomenal. Despite this, the role of the teachers will and should remain center stage in the teaching learning process. In an Industry 5.0 and Society 5.0 context, teachers need to act as facilitators and take on the role of helping students develop skills beyond acquisition of knowledge. Complex problem solving, self-management skills, and interpersonal skills are vital skills for the future, and this is going to be what teachers would be doing while effectively using digital education and technology. While IQ can be gained from the internet to a large extent, it is EQ and SQ, the emotional and spiritual quotient, which are developed in the process of gaining education. And teachers and educational institutions can and will play a vital role. Essentially, universities will act and provide an environment that promotes peer-to-peer learning, facilitates hands-on experiences, social interactions, and on-demand practical opportunities. Thus, I look at the next 25 years as a period where digital education will play a complementing role that will enhance the teaching learning experiences of students and equip them with knowledge and future skills that I believe are vital for the 21st century and will enable India to be the global skill capital and the Viksit Bharat that each one of us envisage. The education system, the teachers, the administrators, and the policymakers, each one of us have a vital role in achieving this vision, and I wish you all the very best in this journey of the next 25 years. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shashank Shah, Director, Higher Education, NITI Aayog, for sharing with us the thoughts of government in terms of transforming higher education and education per se in next 25 years. The data which you have shared, that we're talking about almost 70 crore people will be coming in the bracket of 18 to 23 years in next 15 years. And there lies a huge opportunity, not only for higher education, but also setting that vision of skilling for all, where we can also bridge that gap.